Hi, everyone. This is Brian Manko. I'm with Brian Manko Professional Corp. I'm an accountant, and one of my clients today, Jeff Humphreys from Shortline Creative, is with me. As you know, this is the Rocky View Entrepreneur Series, and what I'm trying to do is put together an online sort of internal advertisement for everyone within my client base so that we can all support each other, we can all support local, we can generate a lot of business all just amongst ourselves by everyone, maybe viewing this site and seeing the different kind of services that are provided by people that are my clients. And I'm one of Jeff's clients, so this is kind of mutually beneficial. So anyways, hi, Jeff. Welcome today.
Thanks, Brian. It'll be cool to run through this with you.
Yeah. So tell us about your business. What all services does Shortline provide?
Yeah, so Shortline Creative is kind of a digital marketing shop. We focus on social media, websites, ad buys. So those are kind of the three avenues. It's a broad statement to say we do digital, but the social media side, it can be creating content, managing your profiles, scheduling content to go out, community management, coaching along, if you don't want to hire somebody to do all those things, we can coach you on how to do it properly so you kind of get ahead of the game quickly. So that's the kind of social media angle. The other lane is building websites, whether it's e-com sites or basic online brochures, kind of like your website that we're going to get into. So we do that. And the third piece, which is probably where businesses see the best performance and the results, is on the ad buy. So buying social media ads on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or buying ads on Google. So Google search and Google display. So digital is a kind of a big space. Those are kind of the three lanes that we like to play in. Then the clients we work with are all in a bunch of different verticals, from restaurants to oil and gas to medical devices, landscapers, just anybody who wants to spend money online or needs to build out their social media presence. They're kind of, the blueprint works for everybody. It's not just, we're not just stuck on one industry. So it's interesting to work with a bunch of different people in different business worlds.
Yeah, so many different lanes. The lanes that you just mentioned, I think everybody understands what website design is, because everyone's seeing these nice websites, and you can tell one is way better than the next one. And one looks like it was just kind of thrown together off the cuff. And the other one's very elaborate and has useful things embedded in it. What about the one, I think the third one that you mentioned? The
ads.
Yeah, can you elaborate on that one? Because I don't know anything about that one.
So the ads are. This is why being on social media is important. And to sign up for LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all these platforms are free. And the idea is that you need to kind of have a foundation. You need to have a presence online so that people decide to do research on you. They can go to these profiles and see what you're talking about. That's the start of building trust when you're trying to build a relationship. So the ads work in combination with that. So here's the two scenarios. If scenario one is I turn on an Instagram account and I post one thing, and then I want to turn on ads right away to drive a whole bunch of attention to my website. Well, what people do is they see the ad and then they click on my profile, and all they see is one post from me. So right away, they don't trust me because I look like a fake.
Oh.
So the idea is to build out your foundation. So you post a bunch of things over a month or two, and then buying ads is where all the action is. So, a follower count is important. It's not the be all end all, because you can essentially buy traffic and get it to your website. So one scenario would be if I owned a restaurant and I had an Instagram and Facebook page that I posted to daily. I was taking pictures of food and my staff and beer, and I needed to drive more traffic through my doors. And my restaurant was in Southwest Calgary in West Hills. So, and I knew my target audience was between 24 and 37 and male, female. And I could create an ad targeting those people around my restaurant. So I have a restaurant in West Hills. I'm going to make an ad on Facebook and Instagram that targeted my exact audience, 27 to 37, living within a 3-kilometer radius around my restaurant. and I'm going to spend money on those ads targeted towards those people. So that's where the power is. You can imagine if you knew your audience and you could literally create an ad that shows up in their Facebook or Instagram stream, and there's a picture of your burger or whatever, or beer, and you're just, they know how close you are. So you're actually creating an ad that's super targeted and cost effective to do it. It's not that expensive to market to a small audience. So that's Facebook and Instagram ads. And then the other one that everyone knows about is Google. So you buy keywords, so if I, again, the restaurant thing, if it was burgers or wings, and I want to buy those words, I can buy those words on Google, and then potentially my website shows up on the very first page at the top where it says ad, and then it has my website listed, and then everyone else's websites are below that. So you can buy keywords that are relevant to your business. They click it, go to your website, and then they kind of learn more about you.
Wow.
So super powerful. And, back to the foundation piece, that's why you need to build a foundation on social. So you post as often as you can. So when people do their research, they get to learn about you instead of calling you, they just go through your social media accounts and then figure out what you're about. And then they decide if they want to do business with you. And then on the website piece, if you drive people to your website, that website has to look like it's been done in the last 4 or 5 years. Like, it has to look professional. It has to work on a mobile device, because if you spend money and drive people to a bad experience on a website, there's no trust and you're not going to get that lead. So the foundation is one of the most important pieces before you start spending money on ads.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's so much more. I mean, I think that credibility for a business is changing as these websites get better and better.
Yep.
I take mine for example. Mine was built, I guess, 5 years ago, and it's kind of not the greatest. It was kind of put together just more like to have a website and to kind of be my resume for the digital world. But I would say already the world has run past me, and people would look at me now and kind of say, "Who is this guy?" It's time for an update. So, anyways, that's good. That's why
it's really true. And the good thing about the website industry right now is there's some great platforms that everybody can. So the one that I use all the time is Squarespace. Squarespace is a platform that anybody can sign up for. Anybody can pick a template, and anybody can update it and post your website live. And it will cost you roughly $280 a year to have access to the template and have it hosted. So for $280, you can build your own website. The issue is, can you make it look professional? Can you figure out what information should be on your website? And this is where, just because you have access to the tools doesn't mean you should actually do the work. But the tools are out there that you can actually explore it, figure out, okay, can I get this thing to look good? Yes or no? If I can't, then I need to hire somebody. And if you hire somebody, gone are the days where you have to spend, $20,000 on an online brochure website, 7 pages, contact us, a gallery, and 2 other pages. Those days are long gone. You can definitely get affordable websites for whatever number, less than $5,000 for an online brochure website that'll last you 5 years, looks pro, works on mobile devices, and you don't have to update it every month based on something not working. So the tools are out there now that make websites less of a pain spot in your business. Like, oh, I need a website, I have to save $9,000 to have somebody build this thing that gets 23 people to visit it a year. Like, those numbers, they don't make sense anymore. And there's tools out there that allow you to build it cost effectively.
Well, I absolutely love the fact that you're able to target things so closely, like, age 27 to 37 within 3 kilometers of your restaurant. It's beautiful. And then, so how about tracking and following some of the stuff that comes to your site? Like, I have no idea how many views I've ever had, or if anyone looks or searches or inquiries, or I have not a clue about any of that stuff.
So the cool thing about any website, you can put code on your website. So you can put Google Analytics on your website, which tracks all the traffic. It tells you where it came from, what country, how many hits a day, by week, by month. You can compare it to the previous year or month. So that's an important piece. So Google Analytics code on your website to keep track of your data. And then you can also put a Facebook pixel on your website. And then eventually, if you get to a spot running ads on Facebook, you can target people that have hit your website in the last 365 days, that have interacted with you on Facebook or Instagram in the last 190 days, and you can create an ad and target towards them. So if they've already been to your website, they kind of know what you do, or they know your brand. So you can create a different ad because they already know who you are versus somebody that has no idea what you do. So you can track all the data is based on those pixels on your website. So you put the pixel on your website, you can track website data, and then you can also start creating a Facebook audience, which is super, it's pretty tech. It's pretty, that's the idea. You know, if you go to a website, if you're searching on Google for new shoes, and then you go to Nike or Mountain Equipment Co-op, and then for the next 5 days, every website you go to has a Mountain Equipment Co-op banner ad on it. This is what all these little pixels and the code do that live on your website. So the analytics on the website traffic it's Google Analytics is free. And when you start buying ads, there's metrics behind it. It tells you how much it costs to get in front of 1,000 people. It tells you how many clicks you had, how many people reacted to it, likes, comments, shares. So yeah, the data behind the scene is, you know, it arms you with a lot of information so you can make better decisions.
Well, I love that because, you know, you might be able to tweak your ad a little bit, like, geez, you know, maybe, you know, using a slightly different word might generate more traffic. I mean, you know, there's all the issues we have these days. Like, you know, maybe if you put the word in, this is old now, but if you put the word green in, like, you know, Brian's accounting green, you know, just because everyone's so environmental, and of course, yes, but, you know, just maybe the right words that, yeah, just the right terminology for the day.
Well, you can target by interest too. So you can imagine, you know, if we run this scenario for you, if you know, if rural Calgary was kind of your sweet spot, let's say, I'm just making things up.
Sure,
But
yeah.
if rural Calgary was kind of an interesting angle, and you made an ad that was a picture of like a really cool barn, you maybe with a horse in it, and on the graphic it said, you know, struggling to find time to do the books, and you targeted essentially all, you know, Strathmore, Bicyker, Stettler, and you literally target everyone who lives in that city that falls between the age of 34 and 54, and you know, you make it look like you understand their world, right?
Yeah.
Versus if you're trying to go after Calgary, you know, that barn and kind of rustic look doesn't really, it wouldn't connect with me because I'm a city guy. So
Yeah.
you start making ads tailored towards specific people. You can do it male, female. You can do it by interest. You know, you could target people that are interested in football, and if you could tie football back to your business, you know, like if you could spin it that, you know, football and accounting go together, football and bookkeeping go together, then you can make an ad targeted towards people that are interested in football, that might be interested in accounting because you're talking the same language now. So you can do so many different things.
Well, that's interesting. Well, you know, and I think that's a brilliant tool for entrepreneurs too, because, you know, in the end, I mean, if you're in the same business for 20 years, you have a client base who's, in the end, you're going to have people who are pretty much similar to you and have the same interests, you know, so why not just start that way? I mean, that'd be brilliant. I mean, you know, maybe, you know, we all have the best chemistry with people that we have the most, you know, common personal interest in as well, like sports or football or, you know, intellectual things that, who knows, and always want to take this course or that course or whatever, interested in these authors, whatever. Yeah, because I think that birds of a feather kind of all stick together. And if you can, it would just make sense to, you know, draw people in based on common interests. Because then what you're left with is people who are kind of really similar to yourself right from the get-go.
Totally. It's word of mouth marketing, but doing it digitally. And, you know, the idea of building your foundation online on your social media is word of mouth, right? You're connecting with people that you either already know, that have a bunch of friends. So you're building that out, and you're not selling your services every time. You're just keeping top of mind. So when the conversation comes up in their circle saying, hey, I need somebody to do my books or do my corporate taxes, at least you're in the conversation because you've showed up in their Instagram feed, you know, once in the last couple of weeks, 5 times in the last week, whatever it is. So that's the new word of mouth. To your point, you know, we all have our own network. It's in our phones. It's all our contacts and all our emails, and that works. But social media, that, you know, we have to go look for it. We have to send an email to remind people what we do. We have to text people asking for something. social media is you just get to post about things you're interested in, stay top of mind, which then keeps you potentially in a conversation, which then starts the referral train back to you. So social media is the word of mouth tool right now versus, relying on phone numbers and emails.
Yeah. Oh, that's so much better, Eddie. I totally see that point. I just thought of something as we were talking. You're talking about just staying top of mind. There are national sales forces that spend millions of dollars on reps across Canada. Like think of the pharmaceutical industry. Every pharmaceutical rep is making great money, and the doctors already know everything about these products, but the reps are still out there making monthly visits if they can, or as often as they can, just to kind of develop a relationship and stay top of mind. So when you think of how much effort is spent and how much money is spent per top of mind, I mean, geez, as you're saying, $280 per year and whatever else it may cost, that's pretty inexpensive to stay top of mind.
Yeah, and it's kind of a grind. If you want, if you want to run that scenario with a salesperson trying to generate leads on social media, you can search different keywords. So if you know that your clientele is interested in a specific subject, and so you search Twitter, you search LinkedIn for specific words, even Instagram hashtags, and you look for these words, and you find all the people talking about it, and all you need to do is like and comment on what they're talking about. You don't try and sell your service. You just leave a little breadcrumb trail back to your account. So that's how it all gets going. So you could do all your lead gen online if you just find the conversations that would relate back to your business. The only kicker is, if I go around and I find 15 people talking about marketing, let's say, or whatever, and I leave a bunch of comments, and 3 people are like, oh, who's this guy? Because everyone's always interested in who's commenting on their social media posts. So the first thing they do is click your name, check out your profile, and then it goes back to the foundation. If there's nothing on my account that's relevant to either the work I do or what I'm interested in, then right away, you've put all this work in to build a relationship, and they don't trust you because you're just this faceless person.
Yeah.
So that is the cycle of how this all works. Foundation, start making connections. To your point, instead of going face to face and knocking on doors, you can do it virtually now, which is obviously a big thing. So it is, there's way more to it than just likes. How many people follow you, how many likes you get, and how many comments you get. There's way more behind the scenes to actually make social media a real business tool.
Yeah. No, I feel like we could talk about this for like an hour, especially all the different things. And now you just mentioned LinkedIn as well. I mean, I think there's whole books written on how you can leverage LinkedIn, and you can coach on that as well. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, Brian, like, the LinkedIn example, there's no science behind it. All you need to do is create content. So talk about things that, provide value to people, answer questions that people always have, make pictures, make articles, make videos, and do that as often as you possibly can. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And if you want to kick it up to the next level, then like I said, you go look for conversations. You start searching keywords and start leaving little breadcrumbs back to your profile. So there's really there's no tricks to it. All that stuff is where the real work is. It takes a lot of time and energy to create content, and it takes even more time to go find conversations. So LinkedIn's free to sign up. All the work is, that's straight grind work. It's like digging a hole, it's ugly work, but it's the only way to get this thing done right now.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And it's, it's so interesting. I can't imagine anything replacing it, because it's not like we're going to have, some new networks come along and, in a brand new ABC and NBC and CBC. Yeah, exactly. That I think is done. I mean, in my view, I can't see TV advertising being of value to anybody anymore, given that. Right. And I can't see anything replacing it right now either.
You're exactly right. And what's going to happen is, everyone, not everyone, the people who are spending money on TV ads right now, when the big companies, they take so long to change. They've been doing the same thing over and over. They got these big monthly calendars, and they have all their budgets allocated towards TV, radio, a little bit of digital, and billboards. And what happens when it happens that these big machines realize that nobody's watching TV, they already know it, they just don't know how to adjust yet. All the prices are going to come up. So right now, advertising on Facebook and Instagram is cheap because the big boys aren't there yet. They are there, but they're not there heavily. You're not seeing McDonald's ads, you're not seeing, Nike ads, you're not seeing IBM, all these big companies, you're not seeing them on Instagram as often. once they realize nobody's watching TV and they take their 70% of their budget and throw it against digital, then you and me will struggle to be able to afford to advertise on these platforms. So right now is a great time to advertise because it's super cheap.
Yeah. And build up our client base as quick as we can before that happens.
Exactly.
Well, and I wonder too, like you look at the great things like Global TV and Global TV app, but replaces all the TV channels on Bell Express View and Telus and everything.
Totally.
Netflix, all the rest.
Yep.
Can't see them staying at a nice low price like that for a long time. Like, what is it, $12 a month for Netflix?
Yeah.
That'll go through the roof, I'm sure.
And what's happening is you can see it, like Amazon started creating all these very unique channels, right? They got Disney, they have Netflix has created their own shows. So eventually what's going to happen is we're going to be able to buy ads pre-roll. So I want to watch a Netflix TV show. Before I watch my TV show, I'm going to see an ad. So eventually we're going to be buying ads on like Facebook. Facebook will come out with a channel that has their own Netflix like style TV shows, and we're going to be able to buy a commercial before the TV show starts.
Really?
That's where this thing's going. And to your point, this isn't changing. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, you just got to figure out, can you make the creative? Do you have the budget to get on these pre-roll commercials before TV ads? You and I might not be able to afford it, but all of a sudden, IBM, McDonald's, all those guys are going to start buying that spot.
That's interesting. And probably even able to do it, as like you said, on a local basis within 3 kilometers of whatever. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Never even thought of that. That's cool. All right. Hey, well, that's great. So that's a good preview. I mean, there's obviously there's so much involved in everything. There's so many different avenues that you deal with. What else would you like to tell us about your business? We should go to your website here pretty soon too.
Yeah, it's the business is pretty straightforward. I just help companies figure out how to navigate online. There's not a one size fits all. It's based on what people are looking to accomplish. I could talk about all of those 3 lanes: websites, social media, and ad buy. Maybe only one of those lanes is for you. And the idea is that instead of just coming to the table with, here, we just do all these services, it's going to cost you $20,000. It's overwhelming. It doesn't make sense. So digital is great because you can just pick away at things. Phase 1 could be a website. Phase 2 could be some online coaching to figure out, okay, I have a goal. Okay, here's 10 ideas of what you need to do. Okay, go try those 10 ideas. Once you realize that you can or can't do it, then the next phase is hiring somebody. And then the next phase is buying ads. So everything's a phased approach versus just overwhelming people with, a huge ticket cost when it doesn't need to be that way.
Well, now that's efficient as well. I'm sure people will appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's do a screen share here, and I'll pop up your site. And I'm not sure what I just did. I
see it.
Okay, you see your own site there. Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so just walk me through this here. And this is Jeff. And
yeah, so it's interesting, right? You started off by saying that I run my company Shortline Creative, and this is a totally different conversation, but my game plan, my marketing for my business is to build my personal brand. So I built jeffhumphreys.ca, and that's what I'm pushing all. If I'm going to advertise, I advertise this. So what I'm doing is I'm advertising my name, and my idea is to build my brand, which then builds trust. And then what people do is like, okay, this guy, they can hear me, they can see me, they can read what I'm talking about. They're like, okay, this guy makes sense. What does he actually do? Oh, he owns Shortline Creative, which is a digital shop that helps companies leverage the online world. So that's my idea is a lot different than a lot of people. Most people just want to focus on their business. I'm doing something totally different that makes a lot of sense for me. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but so this website, it's super easy. It's my story. The Calgary Sessions is a new podcast that I have. And it's me interviewing a bunch of artists, athletes, and entrepreneurs in Calgary. And we just talk about what they're up to. We don't talk any marketing. We don't talk anything about what I do for a living. Essentially, it's me interviewing a bunch of great people and letting them tell their story. And this is my business development idea. Instead of buying ads, instead of going to networking events, I am hosting the party and I'm bringing everybody into my world and kind of, entertaining them with some cool guests, and that's it. And then the last piece of the website is, you click on Shortline, and this is about my business. And, it's super straightforward. It links, once you click learn more, it takes them to the actual Shortline Creative business site. And then they can really dig in to see what I really do for a living. But it's a different approach. You can see, I want to, like I said, I want to build my name before my business, because I think people connect with Jeff Humphreys more than they do Shortline Creative.
Well, yeah, because you are the product.
Yep.
About. I think
Yeah. Yeah, and this is like, this website. Both these websites are built on Squarespace. It takes me no time to do it because I kind of know what I'm up to. They work really well, but this is different. When I say I'm building my brand, and I've said it a few times already, this is what people don't understand. And in my head, this is what is going to allow me to play the long game. I'm going to be around for a while because people are going to know my name. If I stop doing digital marketing, I'm going to do something else. And the only thing that I'm going to take with me is my name. So my name allows me to go down a bunch of different paths. So I'm spending time, money, building my name so that I could do whatever. Like if I want to start a bike company and start designing bikes because I love biking. If I wanted to design start a t-shirt company, then I can do that with my name versus spinning up 7 different companies, 7 different Instagram accounts. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So my name is the top of the funnel, and then everything I do below it. So it could be Shortline, could be bikes, could be t-shirts, could be ice cream, whatever I want to do. My name is at the top, and then everything goes below that.
Excellent. Oh, that's cool. Yep. I especially love this one here. It says, Jeff firmly believes in the unagency mentality. I really like that. No smoke, no mirrors, and definitely no marketing jargon. That's cool, because I think, my opinion, a lot of the world is going pretty granular. The concept of big and institutional and ivory towers and all that kind of stuff. I think these days with the technology and Zoom and all that, people are thinking local for one, and thinking very small and personal as opposed to a giant firm, giant agency. So I love that you said that. That's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't really have any other questions. Is there anything we didn't cover, Jeff, that you want to make sure people know about you?
No, I think no. I think I've been you give me a lot of airtime to talk about what I do, which usually I never do. I never talk about what I do. It's there's a lot going on right now, and Google's a great place to start. You can do a lot of your own research trying to figure out what's possible and what you're good at. And everyone just has to figure out how much time they have, where their strengths are, and then if they have the financing to hire help. And I think if a business wants to be around for the long term, I think figuring out digital is probably obviously an imperative move right now. And going to a big shop is going to be super expensive, but to your point, there's lots of local people around that can help you and hopefully just kind of offer different options that fit your budget, your time, and your goals.
Yeah. And also the concept of time, what I'd never thought of before was the price going up on social media. I just almost figure it's like a given birthright to have cheap and dang near free social media and advertising, but it won't stay that way. So
you
got to build our practices quick.
Yeah. And these online ads, I've been buying ads for a decade now. I've seen the costs go up and up and up, and they're still cheap right now. 10 years later, they're still pretty cheap, but it's only going one way.
Yeah. It never goes down.
No.
Well, Jeff, that's great. I've learned a ton from this interview, even though we've chatted a lot before. I learn more every time I talk to you. So that's great. And so we'll put this on the YouTube channel and
Cool.
And we go from there. So thanks for your time this morning. It's Jeff from Shortline Creative, and this is the Rocky View Entrepreneur Series, and we'll check in later.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.